Hey guys, welcome back. How exciting a match was yesterday's match. It was 2 a.m. in Singapore, and my body had a very surreal reaction because it was 2 and my family was sleeping, and I was so excited that I had to do silent fist pumps. Like my body was like, what the heck is happening? Great match. Nobody saw this coming. When day 4 ended, as most of you know, India was on a little bit of a back foot, but then all the elements combined on day 5 and we had a great finish. So TCX is back again. I'll straight away get off the hook and ask our buddy Rohan to summarize that all exciting day 5 for us.
The idea is that the Lord's Test match, which has just ended, right? Day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, the two teams are properly matched, right? At the end of day 4, England has inched ahead. That's where we are at, right? So when day 5 begins, right, we have Rishabh Pant, and he's with Ishant Sharma. So we are all thinking, let Rishabh Pant score a few runs, hit a few lusty blows, and then that will save us the match. But he gets out, and then Ishant Sharma gets out, and we are like, "Oh, we are gonna lose this." That's where we are, right? And then we have the massive, most important partnership, arguably, of the match between Shami and Bumrah, right? It starts giving us some hope, right? And then we start thinking that we can draw this. They bat even better. And we say, we will definitely draw this. Okay. At that point itself, I was, I had a feeling of victory. We are definitely going to draw this now. They kept on batting, right? India eventually had to declare at 298 for 8, right? Leaving England 270 odd to win in 60 overs. At that point, I thought maybe England does have a chance of maybe not getting the runs, but at least surviving. Not least because of Joe Root and the immense form that he has been in, right? When Joe Root got out, then there was another ray of hope. We can win this now, right? And then there were some mini partnerships, right? Ollie Robinson, Buttler, Moeen, right? So Buttler especially batted for like over 2 hours, right? And he was basically the one who kept them going till the end. And then eventually, when he got out, then we knew that we are going to win this. And then we still had to put that final nail in the coffin, which we did. And, that unforgettable Siraj celebration. Yeah. The awesome scenes. And all of this happened in one day. The entire test match ebbed and flowed, but the entire test match basically played out in that last one day. It shows us how unpredictable cricket is, and precisely why, certainly I love the game so much.
No, fantastic summary, Rohan. I think you're right. All 5 days crystallized into the last day, and even the last day crystallized into the last 60 overs, and then the last 1 hour. Perfect way to end the match. So, Abhishek, you've been following the game for quite some time. Where do you rank this Lord's win, compared to GABA and SCG and all of that?
Oh yeah, I know that's what everybody is discussing. While I would say yesterday was unbelievable, okay, but definitely I would keep it just below GABA, I would say, because Brisbane GABA was definitely superior. The reason being the team that we fielded there, because that was not only that was a third string team almost, with their entire debutant bowling lineup and whatnot. Every single thing was stacked against us. At least here, we had a full team to play for. Okay, we had our full strength team. I mean, we were spoiled for choices. Our bench had Ashwin and Umesh Yadav, who has a combined tally of 550 plus test wickets. So here we were spoiled for choices. We were playing with our super first strength team. So that was the major difference, I would say. And along with the fact that I would rate Australia as a slightly better team than England, okay, at this stage, because you had England just has Joe Root as the primary batsman. Okay, whereas that Australia team which played at Gabba had Smith, Labuschagne, Warner, one potential legend and two absolute legends. So these sort of differences are definitely there. So while it is, I would just keep it a notch below Gabba, but that doesn't take away anything. It was unbelievable. It was beyond compare, because the only thing, as Rohan mentioned in the slide, the only way I thought we could win this match was if we get bowled out early, say at 200 or so, with a lead of 200, and hope for a low scoring thriller, that if the pitch has cracked or something like that. But as we see, the pitch never cracked. Nothing happened to the pitch. There was nothing there. Okay, so that probably wouldn't have happened. A low scoring, if we had set England 200, they would have probably won it. Okay, so the best part of it was that we got those extra runs and we needed it. That totally put an England win out of the equation, and that made the entire team just attack England like vultures. Absolutely, if you know what I mean.
Fantastic. I think that was good to know that. So Madhu, while there's been a lot of good things, I just want to change the flow a little bit and ask you, is there something that kind of stood out about India in terms of the team composition? Or is there something that we should work and make it better?
No. So I'll take your question in two parts. The first part, did the team do better? Hell yeah. Was it? I mean, Abhishek said, it's one notch below Gabba. I would rate this above Gabba. Of course, it's a recency effect one. But please tell me, all of my fellow cricket fans, please tell me, when was the last time the Indian seam attack took 10 wickets on day 5? The last 2 sessions. When was the last time? This has never happened before. So our bowling was absolutely rocking. And I think after 1984, this is the only second occasion among all test matches where, a team has declared just before lunch and they've gone on to win a test. So this was phenomenal. And Rohan's slide was perfect. I mean, there was such beautiful ebbs and flows. It was like an orchestra. And you have fans from India and England rooting and getting emotional, anxious, everything. So if you recollect yesterday, right from 150 that India had put on board as a lead, we kept, at every 5 runs we were having a check. Is this enough? Is this enough? So from 150 to go to 273, and that too, the tail enders batting, phenomenal. And taking the world's best bowlers apart, Anderson and the newbie Robinson, who's been so impactful. So to have our tail wag with the bat and then come back with the tails up to take all the 10 wickets, incredible. I rate this one of the best victories in recent time. And yeah, sorry, last bit, are there some changes needed? Yes, we did discuss whether an Ashwin would have done more justice than a Jadeja. So, but that's something that we'll leave it, to the team in the third test. But I think the team had, I mean, the four bowler combination is a killer. Making the team look so much better.
Okay, Madhu, I would like to make a point here. If you remember, if anyone can answer that, did you notice that once Bumrah and Shami played their innings, they were fantastic and they were batting, and when they came on to bowl, it was not Ishant Sharma who took the new ball. These two guys were given the new ball. Okay, that's something which I just noticed when I was looking at the scoreboard. Ishant Sharma is a premier new ball bowler. The idea behind it probably that they were both warmed up and they were fired up as well.
Fired up, yeah, absolutely.
That's the reason why they were given the first to go and have a go at it, because their confidence was high. And look what they did: 2 overs, 1 for 2. That's unbelievable, isn't it?
That's what I was going to say. Is that let's not call them the tail anymore. You actually stack the team upside down, and they are the ones who are leading this team. Okay, so it is the last day which won us the test match. It is our bowlers that have won us the test match, emphatically so, right? It is Shami and Bumrah who are the real heroes, especially that massive partnership, and then to come out and bowl, start bowling the way that they did, right? The first 2 wickets set the scene. That is when we went from, they are going to draw this to, oh, we can win this, right? So that was that to me was the main critical factor.
And Rohan, one more question to you specifically. What about that killer slower delivery bolt to Ollie Robinson?
Yeah. So
How can anybody even bowl that at that time? And I'm just asking you that why isn't the slower ball not used more in Test cricket, more often in Test cricket? It got Ishant Sharma out in the morning, correct? So yeah, go ahead, Salim.
No, I was just saying that the similar slow ball was something that Jassi had bowled to Sean Marsh.
Sean Marsh, yes, correct.
Very similar,
Yeah,
just before a break.
Of course, Harmison to Michael Clarke. That was on the Ashes 2005 final ball of the day.
But the key difference here is the fact that Jasprit was bowling from around the wicket to a right-hander, okay, with his ramrod straight arm going over his head, so that he still pitches the ball in line with the stumps.
In line,
it was a virtually impossible leg before decision to have for any other bowler, right? Only Bumrah could have pulled it off, and he did.
And
that's why even the umpire was confused.
Yeah, no. Another thing, I played back all the 10 wickets at 2:39. I was sleeping, and I was so buzzed. In my mind, I kept playing back all the dismissals, and I realized, guys, all 10 of them were genuine wicket-taking deliveries. There was no, fishing off the off
defensive stroke,
or some bad stroke or anything. It was like all 10 were spot on. In fact, I calculated we actually took 10 plus 4 wickets, 14 wickets. The drops and the no ball of Jadeja and all of that. So I'll tell you one thing, to take a few steps back, I felt that the win essentially happened. Of course, one is because we took those 10 wickets, but also because of that partnership with Jasprit and Shami. Because other than that, I felt that Pujara and Rahane, Pujara in particular, I think that put us terribly on the back foot. I know they put 100 runs together, but all that would have counted for nothing if Jasprit and Shami had not put it. Rohan, what do you have to say about that? Pujara's,
absolutely. Absolutely. Like we all have been chatting, right? It is very, very important in Test match cricket to play for time. But playing for time has to be done in a certain situation when you're trying to make sure that you don't lose. The primary objective in cricket, any format of the game, is to score runs, right? And Pujara played over 200 deliveries for his 45 runs, which, because India has now won, doesn't look that bad, right? And I think, Salim, you're spot on that it was that partnership between Rahane and Pujara, which was actually, putting wind under the sail of the English team, right? So I fully agree. And I think that innings, for the want of a better phrase, was suboptimal. He could have played better. He didn't.
Yeah, like what I'm saying is that, see, there's been a lot of debate, I think, amongst us as well. And a lot of people are saying that, oh my God, this is not T20 cricket and whatnot. You can't go slam bang. You need a Pujara in your team all the time. All that is accepted. But the thing is that when you play 205 deliveries, you at least score a 70 or an 80. Okay. So there's no complaints about Ajinkya's innings. Jinx's innings was perfect. 145 balls, he scored 61. He took his time because he was under pressure. That's totally acceptable. We can give that sort of a leeway to a senior batsman like that. That innings was perfect. But playing for Pujara was not even able to dispatch the half volleys, finding the gaps for the half volleys as well. So when you play 205 deliveries, sooner or later, you will get a ball which is going to have your name on it, and you're going to get out. And that's why since Australia, I've been hearing always Pujara gets out to a Jaffa. That's because he hasn't scored enough before he gets that Jaffa.
Okay. Yeah, he waits. He waits for the Jaffa.
Sooner or later, it will come, right? Sooner or later, it will arrive, right? You play 205 balls. 205 balls, nobody's asking you to play a T20 type of a game. Even 50% strike rate also we don't need. But at least when you play 205 balls, you should be at least 180. You should be at least on 80 or 75. Because of that, despite of the occupying the crease for such a long time, at the end of the day, where were we? At 181 for 6. That is disastrous. That didn't help. Neither did we keep wickets in hand, nor did we score enough. So at least either you be at 181 for 3, that okay, humne kuch risk nahi liya and we are just 181 for 3, or you become 240 for 6 or something, or 240 for 8 or something. But here we were nowhere, and Jasprit and Shami had to rescue the situation the very next day. Okay,
tell
so
me
yes,
one thing.
you can go ahead.
Yeah, no. So building on to that point, at least in my mind, from a team composition perspective, if I was given a free hand, I would straight away drop. I mean, of course, they may not be able to drop Pujara now to keep that winning combination, but purely going by merit and all of that, I would keep Pujara away and get in either Mayank or Vihari as your number 3. I would still persist with Rahane. And then from a team composition perspective, I'm tempted to get Shardul back because he's a good bowler. He also gets decent runs, and get Ashwin in. I'm not a big fan of playing Jadeja just because our top 6 is not contributing. So let's get some additional insurance. It's neither, it's robbing us of a world-class spinner who, incidentally, Ashwin features in the World Test 11, but he can't find a place in the Indian Test 11 just because our batting is bad. Right. So a few things that I, at least in my head, I was thinking. Madhu, what do you feel? Any changes to the Indian 11 going ahead?
Yeah, of course. I think this whole approach is very flawed. You can't say you have 6 batsmen and you are not sure, the 6 batsmen are going to perform, and therefore you want to have insurance in a Jadeja. That doesn't make sense. So you please get in a better spinner. If spinning is essential, if spinner is essential part of the team, please have a better spinner. Jadeja is certainly not a better spinner. I kind of buy your logic on having Shardul on board. Pujara, you can give maybe another test and see. And as far as his criticism on the pace of his innings is concerned, I mean, we discuss. I don't fully subscribe to your views. For all he blunted. The Jimmy Andersons and the Robinsons of the world on day 4, right? So therefore, in hindsight, it's all fine. So if it had cost us a match, yes, maybe I would have also been critical about it.
It cost us the match actually just by fluke and some miracle that we got those 89 runs from Shami and Bumrah. I don't think like 99 out of 100 matches, this is not going to happen. This is a rare cosmic event that, these two guys got us 89. I mean, and we also got lucky that somehow, and we didn't talk about it, but this whole Anderson-Bumrah thing, Bumrah bowled a 10 ball over with multiple no balls. That riled up Anderson, and then English team got totally distracted. Their focus was away from bowling well normally, and they ended up bowling bouncers.
That was the turning.
So guys, since the 3 of you are on the same page, I mean, not to take this really far away, but we won by 151 runs. So essentially, Shami and Bumrah's partnership really didn't add much value at all.
Oh, please, come on. It's because of that runs. That is why England couldn't attack, right? Exactly. That was if the target was 200, England would have been much more assertive and probably got those runs. They knew that they can't chase it down. It's impossible against that bowling attack to chase 271 in 60 overs. So that is the reason why their only objective was to survive and see off the 60 overs.
Exactly.
That's the reason. Okay, fair point.
The target was 260 odd, so it's a little difficult, and you have only 60 overs. So the temptation is always to, let's just play out 60 overs, right? We can do
if it was 200 in 70 overs, then the approach would have been totally different. So that's something which you need to factor in.
Guys, about Pujara,
point taken. Yeah.
Sorry. About Pujara, I really hope, fingers crossed, that he's now going to get a massive 100 in at Headingley or at Old Trafford. Certainly. So I'm really hopeful. I'm, as you all know, massive Pujara fan as well, right? As I'm sure all of us are. We like that ability that he has of blunting the attacks. What we seem to be questioning at this point is, does that come at the cost of having the intent of scoring? Is it always just about survival? Does that tend to put the team on its back foot sometimes, which at Lord's on day 4, I felt it really did. So I'm sure that that innings would have given a lot of confidence to Pujara, and we have all seen that he has another gear. He can take his game up a notch. He has the ability.
Even if
He
he
will be
doesn't,
able to do that.
if even if he comes into his into his 2008 Australia version, okay, that's what we want. Okay, there also he faced 300 balls every innings, but he was scoring hundreds there. Okay, that is what is important. So even there, he wasn't going slam bang. It was a difficult conditions, fantastic bowling attack. He was scoring hundreds. That's what you need from your premier number 3 batsman, right? And
Right. Another point. Sorry. Another point. We've all spoken about Jadeja as well, right? So in my books, Jadeja, the way he has batted, is as good as a top order batter, right? So he's somebody
Definitely.
that current, certainly on current form is undroppable. So if we have to get Ashwin in, we have to see how we are going to be able to create that balance. We
See,
already have five. We are already playing with 5 bowlers, which includes Jadeja. Therefore, for the balance of the team, the other 4 would need to be seamers. So which itself, I mean, India has a massive problem of plenty. I think that whole reason for why we were playing Jadeja to give us, more batting comfort has sort of gone out of the window, because Jadeja is now a mainstream batter that we have, and he has become undroppable. His bowling now is a bonus.
So here I would like to say, I mean, the previous conversation that you brought along, see, regarding the team composition, see, sooner or later, like right now, frankly speaking, we were playing in the first 2 tests. Our approach was that we are going to encounter seaming conditions. We don't need a spinner. Okay, we don't need a match-winning spinner, wicket-taking spinner. Jadeja was considered as just a bonus. His spin bowling, he was playing as a batting all-rounder who would just bowl the occasional spins when the fast bowlers are resting. He was not expected to win the match for you. So it was assumption that it's going to be cloudy. The conditions are going to be cloudy. Conditions are going to favor seam. But now, Rohan, as you know, the English weather can change in the August summer bank holiday weekend. That time, 25th August, that period, Leeds might be boiling absolutely. Okay, you never know. Okay, if you remember the Ben Stokes match at Leeds, okay, it was held round about the same time, I guess, if I'm not mistaken. And you know the weather at that time, it was absolutely boiling hot. Okay, so in that sort of a situation, you will need a match-winning spinner. You will need Ashwin. So somewhere, where do you fit in Ashwin here? So somewhere down the line, we will need Ashwin, either at Old Trafford or at Oval or at Leeds. Okay, so we need to
the
fix
answer
that.
to that question, is that our team composition will need 5 bowlers. So Jadeja is currently undroppable. So it is one of the other 4 that you will drop to bring in Ashwin. Plus
so
Jadeja.
if we have sunny weather, if we have hot sunny weather in the end of August, then we have to drop one of the seamers, who are all 4 of them are undroppable too. So you have to sacrifice one of the seamers. Maybe.
So again, if we are talking about the conditions dictating the playing 11 on the given set of 5 days, we obviously, given that it is England, we have to think about the time leading up to the match. Is that going to be dry? Now, we have had some dry weather over the last few days. Over the next 1 week, there is going to be some rain. Okay. Hopefully, by the time we play the test match, the rain would have gone. But it is likely that the pitches and the ground will therefore retain the moisture. It tends to retain it for a long time, because obviously the highest temperature in England is also like low 20s. Certainly in August as well. So I think we have to consider Ashwin more as an all-condition bowler, right? Are we going to, is it a must for us to create a place for him or not? If not, if it is the team that needs to win, then even in the next test match, he may not be playing if we still have everybody else fit. If Shardul is fit, then probably he comes back in instead of Ishant. That is very possible. But
then we can play with 6 bowlers as well.
Well, so one of our biggest weaknesses in this test match was the fact that we did not have enough batting. Right? I mean, everybody scored, which is why we were able to score slightly more than England. But that is also because England batted really, really badly. So comparatively, we are not that bad. We were not that bad. But I mean, playing six bowlers will, further weaken our already fragile looking batting. So
So I just wanted to quickly get on to one of my usual favorite topic, Virat Kohli bashing. So I think the way he led the team in those 60, 64 overs was phenomenal. I mean, that was tailor-made for him, a situation like that, where it's like aggression can lead to the best results, and it did. Of course, I felt that him being aggressive and so jumpy naturally doesn't suit him being a slip fielder. I think being a slip fielder, you need to be calm and composed. You can almost see when the ball is coming to his face, he's not thinking about catching the ball, but thinking about the celebration, right? In his mind, he's already playing, how am I going to celebrate? And
he was he was absolutely confused when he caught Joe Root. He didn't know what to do, and he was wondering how it stuck. It was like that.
So is that a concern? I mean, we spoke about Pujara, and even I'm hoping, Rohan, that he gets a massive century in the next two tests, which I think he will. But Kohli's batting continues to trouble me, right? It's been so long since he's looked solid and compact for, say, 2 sessions on the trot. I mean, he's looked good for a session, he comes back and gets out, and almost all his dismissals in this tour, including WTC, have been either behind the wicket or LBW, right? So is that something which bothers you? I mean, Abhishek, what is your take on that?
See, I think it's just a matter of time. I think this sort of a thing always motivates Kohli, okay, because of this sort of a high adrenaline game that we had. Okay, and with all these war of words, tiff with Anderson, all these things just get him up, gets him going. Okay, so that's when all his I mean, what do you say? All his parts start working. Okay, now we're going to see I feel that we are going to see a completely a different Virat when he comes on to bat at Leeds.
No,
if you remember,
I disagree. Yeah, no, I disagree, because all of this, getting Josh and all the parts working, all of that is good for everything other than batting. I feel that in batting, all things kept aside, technically, I feel there is an issue with him. I don't know what it is. Rohan, maybe I'll ask Rohan to pitch in here, but he's just basically not able to leave the ball. And if you put Joe Root on one end of the screen, one side of the screen, draw a line and put Virat on this side, you can see the difference is appalling. I mean, Virat is basically a sitting duck now, right? I don't see, unless he makes a massive technical correction or the wicket is totally dead, I don't see Virat doing very well in the next three tests. Rohan, what do you say?
Yeah. I think that Virat's problems are also technical rather than mental or emotional. But I don't see him making or even needing to make massive changes in his technique. Right? It is all a game of millimeters, and also about at times about how he's setting up. He has often spoken about how he rotates the bat when he wants to play on the offside, or when he wants to play on the onside, or when he's expecting the ball to come in, he will just rotate it, and if he's expecting it to go out, he'll just rotate it out. He has spoken about that. These are all minor adjustments which play more in his mind than they actually do on the bat. Okay. But having said that, his major weakness in my eyes technically is against a moving ball. Okay. In the channel, mostly moving out, angle in, move out, right? Because we have hardly seen him get LBW. It is mostly nicking off, within the cordon, and that is precisely the brand of bowling that he has to face here. Anderson and Ollie Robinson, that's what they do. That's what happened in the WTC finals as well, because that is where the tall bowler, what is his name? That is how he bowls as well. Yeah, Jamieson. That is how he bowls as well, and that wicket taking delivery is also the staple of Tim Southee. So it is about that one delivery which is what he had failed to conquer in 2014, which has obviously come back in 2018. I think there was just minor technical adjustment, but he was expecting to always wanting to play outside the line so that he can cover that line, and you could see that his head was actually leading his body. Here, his hands seem to be leading more. And I've also seen that technically his bat isn't quite coming down as straight, etc., etc. So these are all, minor technical things, rather than them being in his mind.
Yeah, no, I'm beginning to feel a little, getting a little bit of a Bangalore withdrawal symptom. So, Madhu, we haven't spoken about our Bangalore Huduga, KL Rahul, right? I mean, he really batted well, and him playing again was a little bit of a miracle and events falling into place, isn't it? I mean, Mayank got hit on the head. Somebody was saying that he needs to thank Siraj for because Siraj was the one who was bowling to Mayank.
Yeah. Bounce of Mayank.
Gill got injured. So KL getting in and playing so well is a great sign. And also Rohit, what do you have to say about our openers?
Namma Lokesh Rahul, he was just fantastic. To play at Lords, see off the moving ball and score a century as an opener, outstanding. So I rate it as one of his best and most mature innings, because in the past he's received flack for getting out cheaply as an opener. So even back in England in 2018. So I think I loved his innings. A lot of maturity that I saw, pleasantly surprised. And Rohit, I'm still at a bit of loss saying how is the talent not coming out in runs? He's playing some aggressive shots. He's counter-attacking, but he's getting out in his 30s and 40s. So it's a bit frustrating. But nevertheless, they're having a great opening partnership for sure. And I think the combination is here to stay. And as you mentioned, maybe they'll extend it to the white ball cricket as well as a killer opening combination.
Yeah, no, Rohit, the good thing about Rohit is that almost all matches, minimum he lasts 10 overs. For me, I mean, having seen our openers,
it's a huge achievement.
It's a major bonus. So, yes, we should not compare him to his white ball exploits, but lasting 10, even most cases 20 overs is a big plus. Unfortunately, the people who follow him are not able to maintain that tempo. That's where the issue is. What about Siraj? I mean, I was a little disappointed that he didn't get the man of the match.
The other Bangalore boy.
We are all disappointed. Yes, I think Siraj should have been the right candidate for man of the match. But, well, it's a batsman's game. And, of course, Lord's Honours Board and all that, those things must have tilted the balance in Rahul's favour. But I think, yes, Siraj was my man of the match. There's no two ways about it. 8 wickets, and the way he bowled, the body language and how weak he came in. I mean, he didn't take the first 5 wickets, and he took the last. He was the one who gave that killer blow when Moeen Ali and and Sam Curran in 2 successive deliveries. That was phenomenal. I mean,
that last dismissal, right? I mean, for me, it was a surreal experience, because I'm like watching, and the ball Anderson plays, and then I hear the sound.
And Rohit caught it.
And then I'm like, it was a second or two, but I'm like asking, guys, where is the ball? What is this sound? Why hasn't the ball gone to punt? I mean, what's happening? And then next thing, 1 second later, you know that it's a bold.
By the time the stumps have already been uprooted.
Guys.
I'll sum up about Siraj. I mean, if you're going ahead. So, I mean, it's after ages that I'm seeing, a pure joy in a fast bowler, who has spring in his stride, so beautiful, so rhythmic, and also celebrates his wickets like,
crazy.
the younger brother of Imran Tahir. So I think joy to watch for sure.
Yeah. So all that I would now say is that, like we have recently also discussed, is that all 11 players contributed, right? Siraj getting 8 wickets, Ishant getting 5, Pant taking 4 catches, Bumrah scoring runs plus taking 3 wickets. I'm actually reading it off here. Shami also scoring 56 and taking that wicket in the second over.
All the batsmen contributing in both the innings.
Yeah, Rahul, Rohit
Everyone.
the first innings, Pujara, Rahane in the second innings, Kohli and Jadeja 40s in the first innings. So it's basically all 11 players, everybody contributing. And that is precisely what England's players did not do. And that is why we were the winners eventually.
That's very true.
Guys, great to do this show. I think there's a little bit of a gap between this one and the next test. Let's regather our thoughts and do a similar show. Hopefully, a show where India has won the next test. and
It's
hopefully a
it's
lot more things to talk about. Good to catch up with
very-
everybody. Keep watching our channel,
very-
everyone.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
why-
See
Thanks.
you all.
Bye.
Fun catching up. Yeah.